I believe that's the game, boys. Wallabies full time, 26, France 42. So let's debrief this game because it's about 30 minutes before the next game and I'm running on pretty much 0 hours of sleep. It's crazy. But when you love rugby, you kind of love days like this where you can watch quality rugby from fucking 7 a.m. until late at night. And we've got England playing in the Football World Cup. It's been a while I haven't watched any football. For those of you who don't know me, I'm French and English, so I'm quite stoked that France have beaten the Wallabies, but there's a lot to dissect in the game. I might be pausing the video here and there and then switching angles just because I've got a nice cup of coffee here. It's going to be mandatory so I don't start falling asleep. The Wallabies, so they scored 21 points in 20 minutes? They scored quite quickly, didn't they? And then no more, except for a last try in the sort of dying moments. Kind of the opposite of the All Blacks, really. The All Blacks that sort of didn't start well and then started to play good rugby. Australia had the other problem, which is that they played their good rugby and then ran out of ideas and just couldn't do it anymore. Although they were extremely entertaining to watch. I'm not going to lie, they were extremely entertaining to watch. Although I wanted France to win, I want the Wallabies to do well. I think that we need Australia to have a good rugby team for World Rugby, for the World Cups, especially because they're hosting one next year. I will be going to that World Cup. I will be taking the long flight across to Australia. I will be watching the World Cup over there, and I hope that the Wallabies do well. And I'm quite sad to see that the crowds tune up to rugby union in Australia and their team keeps losing. When's the last time they beat South Africa or New Zealand or France or... I missed one, didn't I? Or New Zealand? Anyway, at home. When's the last time they won a big game at home? They beat the Lions on the third test, right? Was that important? It's quite worrying, guys. It's quite worrying for the Wallabies because unless something happens now, I don't think that anything is going to happen in the World Cup. There's very few teams that can have a bad season and then a bad run until the World Cup and then suddenly do very well. I mean, you could argue that... Was South Africa any good in 2019 before they won the World Cup? I can't remember. Were they did people see their performances and think, hey, these guys can win the World Cup? Or did it just sort of happen very quickly during the World Cup where everything kind of went to plan? I can't quite remember. What I do want to say is France were outstanding in the second half. It's the kind of like New Zealand. They didn't play as they should have played in the first half. And then they played some brilliant rugby. This game was extremely entertaining, guys. If you watched it, you would agree it was extremely entertaining. I want to talk about Carl Dixon in a second, but let's talk about France. I mean, France played insane rugby, the rugby that you fall in love with. That's why I love this. I love France so much. They play some brilliant rugby. They're fearless. They're great. And bear in mind, this is an experimental team. Let me just tell you this. Number 11 or 14. No, it was 11. Nkenyong Grandidier. He has never played for France before in Union. Number 15, Jalibert. He's never played 15 for France, I don't think. That's an experiment. Some front forwards were... Some interesting forwards also that badly played for France before. Sort of the trio at the back that's usually the top trio in France, the Thomas Ramos, Penaud and Bielbiaré, not playing. And I don't know, should I say it with the French accent or the English accent? Because if I say, I don't like saying it with the French accent because then it makes me look French. And I'm doing this in English. But then if I do it in English, it's weird because I could say it in French anyway. The Wallabies will probably regret that they just didn't turn up in the second half, and I don't know why they didn't. Carl Dixon at times might have ruined this game. Might have slightly ruined this game by just trying to... And by the way, guys, I'm extremely respectful towards the refs. I think that the game needs to be run by the refs. We need to respect the refs, etc. However, it is important to point your opinion out if you think that the ref made some mistakes. And I'm the first one to say, although France won, I think that he made some mistakes. First of all, I mean, the first thing I think of is that he cancelled France's try because of a forward pass at the end. Beautiful try. I don't think that was necessarily forward. A few imaginary knock-ons also that were blown. I think World Rugby should have this rule, sort of, that You know, when rugby is free-flowing like it is between the Wallabies and France, when all the eyeballs are focused, when the game is doing well, just try your best to not blow the little knock-ons. Try your best. Just hide them, you know, or really don't be picky. There should be a rule that's sort of, unless it really rolls forward, clearly forward. I don't know. Because sometimes it's a shame when, you know, everything's going well and there's just a little bit of a sort of a ball rolling on the ground in the ruck and it has to be all stopped, and then there's an injury and suddenly the game only starts again 3 minutes later. Let me know if you agree with this. I think that's about it, guys. I think the Wallabies will struggle. They will struggle for the rest of this Nations Championship. It's going to be a big hit. I'm not sure the crowds will tune in as much going forward until the World Cup. And yeah, good for France though. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. Let's have a positive, respectful chat in the comments. Hopefully some French people and Australian people watch this video. That's kind of who it's targeted towards, but I'm pretty sure we'll also have people from all across the globe. And yeah, I'll be doing an analysis for pretty much every game. I doubt that I'll be doing, unless someone tells me in the comments that they're from Argentina or Wales and want to see, you know, want to see me watch that game or talk about that game, because I probably will watch it. I'll be covering all the other games. Let's be honest, Argentina-Wales, sorry, isn't probably the best game of this weekend. There's some banging games coming up in the next few hours, and I need to drink this coffee and get ready to watch the next few games, guys. All right, see you in a bit.